As we gather here in Lytham, a disparate and motley bunch, hoping there'll be no speeches and we can quietly down our lunch and chat about the things we've done and the bizarre sights we've seen, bask in Lytham hospitality and indulge in its cuisine. We don't want presentations, but before we all disperse, maybe we can remember who we are in strained and clumsy verse. Sparkling ability and achievement that in dark times brightly shone, talent and triumph that is needed more now that it's gone. This rhyme and roll of honour is a very lengthy list, and apologies in advance for anyone I've missed. But as But as we sip the coffee, and yeah, we've got the coffee. Optimistic man. We can start to reminisce about a time of hope and dreams, of passion fiercely burning, a lengthy spring of endeavour, of comradeship and learning. Before the weather turned and we were told, well, that's your lot. We can remember Progress House as if it were Camelot. A place where heroes and heroines with flying standards strode. Yes, Camelot, the fabled town, not the theme park down the road. And the television series with everyone unclothed. Legend recalls the gentlefolk who gathered at tables round, the ones at the back of the canteen, bacon balms are just over £1. Magicians, warriors, stout defenders, valiant ladies and fair knights, sallying forth to vanquish complacency and engage in fearsome fight. Chivalric and courageous in pursuit of the Holy Grail, every school will be successful, no Blackpool child will fail. Anne Stanton and her armourers, providing helmet, sword and shield, resolute in defence and never known to yield, despite their being under siege from Trebuchet, Panganel, it's for the historians, from head teachers, parents and advisors and everyone else as well, the first line of defence providing relief from stress and peril, Philippa, Joanne and Sharon, Amanda, Debbie and Cheryl. Without them, the castle walls would shiver and the tallest towers would fall. Nothing would have been achieved and we would be held in thrall to ignorance and underachievement, of misery and despair. They were saving our lives daily, Diane, Helen, Shirley and Claire. The primary team of archers with so many strings to their bows, launching arrows at the target and ensuring standards rose, missiles reaching every mark in volley after volley, with sharply honed resources and their quiver and their trolley. Encouraging independence, they made their arrows fly with every shot on target and in or bullseye. They kept their focus on the classroom and practiced at their butts. That's what you shoot the arrows out. Ignoring black-hearted ministers and their savage swinging cuts, so accurate and committed no enemy could deflect them, and their super-sharpened bolts swarmed down at the hint of an inspection, spending evenings and weekends straining every sinew, muscle and joint to help schools through turbulence, make sure Ofsted got the point. Shirley, mounted toxopholite, rising health and leather, leading Amazonian archers, Sarah, Michelle and Heather, with Nicola, Annie, Debbie and Tracy pulling back a bow, and Sarah, Barrett, Lindsay, Johanna and Gareth firmly with them in a row, while Debbie and Belinda, and with her big brain, Sue, sent forth their flaming arrows straight and keen and true. Justine would use her team to train every valorous squire with a joust for England tracksuit. She helped them all aspire, while Claire would check their lungs were healthy and their pulse was brisk. Suzanne would fill the foreman and carefully assess the risk. Hidden within the castle keep, home of Camelot, might and power, among subterranean rooms and skywards pointing tower, sorcerer, Damien de Ainscough, Merlin of the filed and wire, conjurer, with a fearsome power to embolden and inspire, an alchemist whose spells in school turn base metal into gold and degrades into better, what magic to behold, and Paul, a fellow conjurer performing magic with the stats, master of the dark arts of the numbers and the facts, and Charlotte with her potions, black magic professing, murmuring incantations to improve the marking of the setting, calling down the heavens, the darkness and the thunder, to transform runic symbols into signs of awe and wonder. Abiding beside them were mystic masters of ancient lore, an enigmatic group unknown, even to those who lived next door. 3 wise men of mystery, noble, solemn and grave, who lurked in dark recesses and were only known as Dave. They did something with colleges, exotic figures in FE, whispering with Julie and Jill on BTEC and G&T. They were aided by a silver giant, exiled as dungeons dark and dank, who would speak in enigmatic riddles, though he was always frank. And then the consultant's secondary armoured little horse, charging down a national challenge with vigour and with force, taking up the gauntlet and leading the advance, with data as their shield and understanding as their lance. A lady, bold and resolute, made Marion do a scouse. Not lady of the lake, but of a sodden house. Ministering to the needy, labouring amongst the poor, the forgotten souls whose subjects lay just outside the core, building understanding of the sacred and profane, of philosophy and geography throughout the whole domain, telling stories of the Holocaust and of times now lost and gone. A damsel travelling now towards the fields of Avalon. That doesn't mean, you know. And next, Sir Jean de Counterlot, Lord Effingham the Brave. I know why. Who fought to counter ignorance from any charlatan or knave that talked of magic bridges or of fancy little tricks, not calculus and logic and Fibonacci sticks. And he would swing his mace and curse at any upstart traitor who couldn't explain their workings or use a calculator. But he didn't need an axe, as he had something even keener. But beside him rode a maiden of sweet and kind demeanour, but possessed of piercing intellect as sharp as any blade. The Lady Sheila would cut straight to the quick and make any dunce achieve their grade. United in this noble venture to put their mettle to the test, came a loquacious lady, sparklingly energetic in her quest, to foster cleverness with language and clarity of diction, make writing more exciting and spend hours with teenage fiction. Lady Helen of Lancaster, who could ride as well as any knight, and unhorse any wandering jouster who was looking for a fight. With persuasive turns of language and words poured in their ear, as she spurred her steed towards them and began to shake her spear. She brought the language of success to every maiden squire. Confidence and achievement climbed the parapet and then rose even higher. These warrior queens were aided by other wholesome maids, who, though they all could conquer hearts, did their job in spades. Amongst them were the likes of the fearsome Mistress Joyce, who could call a miscreant in from the filmed fields with just her commanding voice. The tardy would flee pleasure halls to return through the classroom gate and behave with chivalry and honour, scrubbed attentive and never late. Those who did not return but chose in villages to remain would be pursued to their dwellings by Lady Margaret and Mistress Jane. The Lady Lorraine and Catherine would be attentive to everyone's needs, helping the serfs, the lost and the special, reducing disorder and misdeed. They scoured the keep and babe in every street of Camelot town, aided in their victory by Leslie, Julie and Cathy Brown. Working amongst the townsfolk and the gentry who governed the schools was the sisterhood of Mistress Anne, wise in all the laws and rules. Meeting long into the darkening with every dame, every mayor and baron, Ranthea, Annie and Amanda, and Jacqueline and Karen. Amongst the castle entertainers, 2 court jesters plied their trade, amusing the squires with gadgetry and tickling every maid, with pranks and japes and jollity and countless distractions and toys, lords of misrule and anarchy, Ian and Ken, the cheeky boys. But the lord of entertainment with minstrels and troubadours was Andrew, whose music and triumphs travelled far beyond Camelot shores. He would spread harmony throughout the town with trumpet, piano and flute, and Len the roving minstrel would strum on the rhythm guitar or lute. So many talented lords and ladies, so much learning in Camelot's halls, so much pleasure and affection within strong and thick stone walls. We see the roving robber Bispam sent on missions by Sue the Queen, the mellifluous Madame Jill Burrows and theatrical Celine, Robin Glen Gone Farmers, I'll tell you about that later, grey hair and ancient gents, who struggled along with Adrian and Steve beneath the battlements, or busied themselves with data and with battle preparations, while good King Stephen peered out from between the crenellations, hurrying his knights in preparation for any potential attack, and keeping a vigilant eye on any spare biscuit or uncut. But things that burn so brightly and so fiercely often die, and Camelot's towers no longer stand brilliant against the sky. No rampant lions or pinnacles stand sinister and dexter. A squat little office remains in the dust just next to Tesco Extra. And something vital is disappearing, something precious is now lost, and the villagers who circle the ruins can only count the cost. As the afternoon turns to evening and night supplants the day, we see dark forces massing, led by goad, not more than the Fae. Robber barons trample the greenwood, bringing stress to fear and tension. Brigands have stolen employment and reach to rob our pensions. And when the schools fall out for aid and banking Arthur's drum, they will wait in pensive silence as no knight errants come. And no one will offer rescue as once proud Camelot did, or if they come to give support, it'll cost a few £100. And each noble lord and lady, strong of heart and bold, will know as they depart that they never did cry hold, or surrender or diminish their commitment to the quest. They know they were the golden ones, excellent and blessed. They can wave their swords in victory as they look at days gone by, and look towards the future with their heads and standards high. The disco ball fragments and 1,000 lights grow dark, as the shadows spread and lengthen from here to Stanley Park. The friendship and achievement mean that hope is always rising. There are glimmers of a new day on the edge of the horizon. Though darkness falls on Camelot, in the distance there's a dawning. Remember, after every good night, there comes a bright, fresh morning.
Oh.
Yeah.